All right, guys, I'm not too sure if we are live. Hopefully, we are. And, we're able to get into some things tonight. All right, if you are here, I would love if you let me know if you can hear me well. Hopefully you can, because I think I set up my sound right. If you are in the comments, definitely say hello. I want to see you. I want to talk to you guys. It is Zaylee, and this is the Ask Zaylee Show. Hello, guys. How are you? All right. Okay, so listen, we have a jam-packed show today. I'm really excited. Like I said before, if you are here, definitely say hi so that we can get into some things. The second thing I want to say is if you are watching the replay, definitely hashtag replay crew so that I can see you and just come through and thank you for being here. If you're here live, oh my gosh, you caught us live. You, my darling, caught the live show, and I'm excited about that. So we have a few things to cover tonight. We have a few things. We're getting into some goodness. We have some really juicy questions from the people in the Facebook group. And listen, all right, so let me make sure I have my comments on so that I can see you guys. Hey, Ola. I'm seeing Facebook user. That's either Sydney or Dominique. I'm not too sure, but hey, girl. Hey, hello to everybody. Welcome to the Ask Zaylee Show. I want to thank you, first of all, for spending your Friday night with me, right? So that we can just dive into the goodness of what it is like running an online business, creating your courses, creating your products, creating your coaching, creating all of those things, but marketing it with video content, right? So that's what we're going to dive into today. We're going to dive into some goodness. If you are here and you have not shared just yet, let me tell you, there's going to be a lot of value. And if you've been here before, you know how much value we give. So I would love if you shared with your community or with your people. I want you to share so that we're able to reach more people. Say hello if you're here in the comments. And like I said before, if you're watching the replay, definitely say hi as well. I hope you guys can hear me well. You guys know this is a live show. So, let's hope that we go smoothly. I definitely forgot to put my timer on today, so we'll be just watching the time. I try not to go over an hour so that I'm respectful of your time on a Friday afternoon or evening, wherever you're tuning in from. I know in LA it's still the afternoon, but here it's still, in Dallas, it's the evening, right? It's 7:02 here, 8:02 in New York City, where I am from. Hello, Chandra. Oh my gosh. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you. We are getting into some goodness, right? All right. Sydney said, I sound great. Thank you, Sydney. Let's go. All right. So we are going to get into question 1. But before we do that, you guys know I always have a question of the show. And so my question of the show today is, 903 in Trinidad. Yes, girl. Yes. So my question of the show today is, if you had to choose between live video and pre-recorded, which would you choose? I want you guys to answer me in the comments, and maybe I'll come back to it for the people that join later on, because I know it's still kind of early into the show. And people are going to be joining as we move along and as we get through it. But I want to know from you, what do you prefer more? Do you prefer live video or do you prefer pre-recorded video? And so when I say live video, I mean what I'm doing now. We're on a live stream now. We're interacting live. I'm reading your comments. We're vibing out. It is Friday night. But do you prefer this kind of thing to do for yourself? Or do you prefer pre-recorded? Do you prefer not to be live so that you can edit out all of your mistakes and all of the things that you may not want anyone to get into? Answer in the comments so that I can run through them during our Q&A session or when we take a break. I want to know. I want to know what you guys like doing. There's pros and cons to both, but I want to know. I want to know what you guys are getting into or what you would prefer to do for yourself and for your own audience, right? All right. So guys, Kaniqua has a really, really good question. And so Kaniqua's question is, hello everyone. So this week I'm going live on YouTube this time. I normally go live inside of my Facebook group. My question is, do you find going live on YouTube different or more difficult than the private setting of a Facebook group, right? So And then second, she asked, can you see all of the comments on the live on YouTube, right? So this is such a good question. It's a packed question. I think Kaniqua asked in the Facebook group, but I actually offered to answer live, right? So there's a few things that come into play here, and I can really share because I do both, right? So here's the thing. If you're going live in your Facebook group, that is absolutely amazing, but you're doing yourself a bit of a disservice unless it's a special series that you're offering inside of that Facebook group to nurture your Facebook audience. But if you're only going live in there, in that private setting, you can get comfortable in there, Kaniqua. You can get really comfortable, and you can get so comfortable to the point where you know the people in your Facebook group, you're comfortable with them, you know how to vibe out with them. But if you're doing video, you want to be able to repurpose it either now or later. So even if you're doing a special series for your people inside of the Facebook group, you still want to figure out a way that you can go live publicly. Going live publicly is so powerful. Last week we were on here and we had so many new people. If you're new and this is your first time in the Ask Daily Show today, let me know in the comments. But listen, going live publicly allows you to really connect with even more people. I love going live on multi-platforms. You guys know we covered that a few weeks ago. And if you don't know, you can definitely find it on the YouTube channel or in the Facebook group. We covered things like multi-streaming platforms and tools and things like that. So for me, I love going live in my Facebook group, but I also love just sharing everywhere. Because of a few things, you're able to connect with even more people, right? So people that didn't know about you before definitely are able to find you and connect with you live. That's a whole different experience. I love it when people are live with me and they don't even realize that we're live until I acknowledge them and say, you know, hey girl, hey. And then they're like, oh my gosh, this is live. That has happened to me a few times well. So you definitely want to think about that. The second reason why I would go live on YouTube as well is because of SEO. SEO is so important. So if you have created your live on YouTube and you pre-scheduled it, I advise for you to pre-schedule that a few days in advance so that your audience kind of knows, hey, this is going to be a live session. We're going to be covering some things, and they can hit that reminder button on YouTube so that they're notified when you go live, right? So when I say SEO, we mean search engine optimization, and that means that you're able to reach other people who might be searching for the topic that you are talking about. A few weeks ago, I spoke about editing, and I spoke about the best tools for beginners for 2020, and people were finding that live while I was live, right? And so that was on YouTube because YouTube is a searchable platform. A lot of people use it because they're looking for something specific. And if you can pop up and you're live, it's so much more engaging and exciting because they can really see, well, girl, you know what? She knows her stuff. I'm going to subscribe, or I enjoyed this so much. I'm going to show up either when she's live or when she uploads pre-recorded content. So the thing is with YouTube, you have to think strategically with your live. So you either create it so that you reach more people, or you can just go live to your audience on YouTube. Like the people that are subscribed to you would love to see you live and engage with you as well. And so that's something that as you roll along, more and more people will come and engage with you, right? It's so exciting. So many exciting things. I always advise going live with strategy. You guys know I love both pre-recorded and live. And I'd say the reason for that is pre-recorded is you don't have to be there live, first of all, right? So you can record. And guess what, guys? You guys know I love a good batch, and you can batch that content. So you can record a few things at a time. And so for me, that is always efficient. I don't ever want to depend fully on live video because sometimes I like to step away from my business a bit. And I don't ever want the experience where I've decided to step away, and then I lose that connection with my audience. A lot of people are going live consistently and they're not creating good keywording and SEO behind their content, and you never want to completely do that, right? So you want to make sure that you have, a good system going on for what you're creating. But all in all, go live on YouTube as well, because you get that exposure. And a lot of times we get so comfortable inside of that Facebook group that we remove all of the fear of, getting outside and having new people find us. So sometimes it's also a fear of success, because we haven't thought about, well, what would it be like if this video got over 100,000 views, right? So I would say, either repurpose your lives. You can multi-stream like I do. You guys know that I go live on different platforms. And funny enough, I get a lot of views after the stream. So I notify my email list. I notify all of my platforms, because I'm on a few platforms well. And I know as time goes, that video is also going to gain a lot of views. You guys know I love to play the long game, right? So I love to make sure that, I'm going through things and doing things that will also benefit my business in the long run. So let me make sure that I answered all of that for Kaniqua. And guys, I'll repeat the question of the show, because I see that a few more people are here. Welcome, 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 guys. So she asked, do you find going live on YouTube different or more difficult than the private setting? And I can speak to that. Like I said, sometimes fear is involved, but it's no different, right? So you're still providing value. And someone gave me a super chat, guys. That is so crazy. All right, so I have to get back on here and shout out Ecamm, because I'm actually using Ecamm to stream right now. And they just gave me a super chat. I don't know who it is or which one of you on the team, but listen, I am thankful. Thank you so much for that super chat, Ecamm. Listen, that was good. I like it. Guys, listen, you guys always know I tell you Ecamm is absolutely amazing. I'm streaming on Ecamm or through Ecamm via Restream. No, I'm streaming on Restream via Ecamm, right? So listen, don't play with Ecamm. Thank you guys. Thank you. All right. So I'm going back to the question of the show, which is, if you had to choose between a live video and pre-recorded video, which would you choose, right? I want to know. The other thing is, I create both live videos and pre-recorded videos with Ecamm. It's a no-brainer. It's simple. I absolutely love it for all of the things. I'm able to plug up my audio. You guys know I have a few videos on the YouTube channel about this, and I wouldn't change it for the world, right? So definitely check Ecamm out. All right, guys. Oh, and I have a link for Ecamm down in my comments, so don't be afraid to, get into it and explore a bit. Hello. All right, there you go, Ecamm. Okay, so I'm not sure who is this, if it's Caleb or who is it, but they said that I am multi-streaming to Periscope. I'm streaming everywhere, okay? All right, guys. So shout out to the Ecamm team. Thankful for you guys and so happy that you are here. All right, so we are about to move on into question 2, which I am super excited about. But before I do that, let me just lock into Q&A and see what you guys are saying, because you guys know I love to just get in there before things get, a little more in-depth, right? So, all right, I think I saw everyone. Mr. Banner, welcome. I guess that's Periscope. A few people are on Periscope, which is cool because I hardly ever stream there. Hey, Ashley. Sydney, you're here. Somebody said 903 in Trinidad. I'm not too sure who that is, but you guys know I'm Trinidadian. Hey, what's going on? What's good, my Trini people? Allison said, I just started adding lives to my channel this month. I am crafting channel lives, so sometimes, it can be hard sometimes, but I like them. It's so good, Ashley. I'm so thankful for you being here. I really love, doing the whole live thing on YouTube because people get to know me so much better, right? Pamela says she likes live. Hey, Pamela. Yes, I enjoy it. I enjoy both. I'm telling you guys, they're so good. Let me see. I want to say that right. Adafi. I think. Hey girl, hey. Welcome to the stream. I'm so happy you're here. Welcome from Trinidad. Ashley is a first timer too, and Ashley, you're on YouTube, so I'm guessing that you are subscribed to the YouTube channel, right? But I love really using pre-recorded and live video, and the YouTube community section is pretty cool as well. Joanna, welcome. It's so good to see you guys. Oh my gosh, so many people are here. Guys, listen, I am excited. And like I said before, shout out to Ecam. Listen, I am here for it. Never underestimate the power of a simulcast, right? You guys are absolutely amazing. 214 Lux said, I like lives, but I go off track. I always pre-plan exactly what I'm going to do for my lives. And this is a little tip, guys. So for me, what I always want to make sure that I do is I always want to make sure that I know what I'm going to talk about in advance, which is why on Tuesdays, we ask you guys in the Facebook group, what questions do you guys have? This way, my questions are specifically tailored to what you want to know. One, and two, the second thing is that we can make sure SEO is on point so that when we are done streaming this, people can still find it after. Right? So it's always good to know what you're talking about before you even go live. And I like to say, find 3 good points that you're going to cover, because you can go live more and more and more. So give 3 good points and you will be all set. Right? All right, guys. So listen, we're moving into question 2, and I have so much goodness set for question 2 because listen, it's a thing. So Taisha asked, how far in advance should I record in order to have adequate time for editing, right? This is a really good question. And so this is really why I decided to cover, content for 2021 and a few things that you really need to think about when it comes to your content. So Taisha asked in reference to editing, but I'm going to share a few tips in reference to your overall year. Right? So one thing that I want to remind you guys is that when we're planning for content, especially, it is December, I think it's December 18th, right? And it's December 18th, and we want to make sure that we are also thinking about the new year. Like, how can we really get ahead of this new year, take advantage of a few things for the new year? Like, we have some time. So it's December 18th, and we have a few days left, for Christmas and for the new year. And I don't advise you to run headfirst into figuring out what you're going to do for the new year, but I also would advise you to think about a few things. Just get some ideas mapped out. One, what would you really like to be known for this year? What would you like to dominate this year? When I say this year, I mean 2020, right? What do you want to be known for? How do you want to be found? Like, what do you want to be found for? If someone was looking for you, what would they be searching to find you, right? So I want you to really think about that. This year, I'm so zoned into using video for your product, your services, your sales, and your marketing. That's what I'm thinking about this year. I want to really help people understand how they can effortlessly sell on camera, right? How they can effortlessly market themselves on camera, how you can use content in so many different ways and repurpose it and just watch your business run, right? But in order to do that, one thing that I want to remind you guys is that we have to start from the goals that we have. So I want you to think about, well, what goals do I have? Like, what are my financial goals? What are my growth goals? How do I want to grow my email list? What are your growth goals? Like, what are your audience goals? Do you want to grow to, let's say, 100 people on your email list, 1,000 people? Do you want to start making $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month? What are your growth goals? So when you figure out your growth goals, the next thing that I want you to start thinking about is, how am I going to meet those goals, right? So that means, well, how many clients do I need to fill my roster to meet those goals? Or even, how many launches am I going to have? Like, how am I going to launch across the span of 12 months? Am I going to launch something every quarter? Am I going to launch something every month? Which I don't really recommend, right? But you need to start thinking about your launch schedule. When you figure out your launch schedule and you think about the goals you want to make for each launch, right? Let's say we're speaking about courses in this case, then you would know, all right, so I know I need to, figure out how many videos am I able to record or show up live for, right? As it pertains to your goals. I want you guys to really think about your goals and think about how you've got to show up instead of thinking about or not thinking about your goals and thinking, well, I just want to make 3 videos a month, right? Think about how you are going to show up to achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. So let me give an example. Let's say I'm posting 1 video a week, right? If I'm posting 1 video a week and I'm launching every quarter, for me, that means that I now need to have 12 videos. Wait, am I saying that right? Yes, 12 videos per quarter. Wait, am I saying that right? Yes, 12 videos per quarter, right? Who's doing math in the comments? So that means I need 12 videos per quarter. That's gonna let me know, all right, I need to create a day every month that I can record 4 videos, right? That's gonna allow me to show up for 3 months. So Taisha, one thing that I would say is let's think about planning 90 days in advance, right? So you should know what you're doing for the next 90 days. Let's work in quarters. This way we can work in chunks and the year doesn't look so huge and overwhelming to us. Like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do for the year? Think about what you're doing for the next 90 days. And so one of the reasons why I say 90 days is a lot, guys, can change in 90 days for your business, right? So I want you to think about when, the pandemic first started and quarantine first started and everyone was going crazy. Like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Because some people were trying to push forward with the same messaging and they didn't know how to create messaging or content for what was actually happening. So what we want to do is still leave some room or leeway. So if you create 90 days worth of content, you're still able to read the room and figure out, well, how can I tweak this content to fit, what's going on? So you don't want to push past 90 days because then, you can run into a bit of a problem, right? So I want you to think about that. Now, the other thing is if you know that you're recording, 4 videos for 1 month, then what you can do is record those 4 videos and then, edit, right? So you fit your editing time in. And so because of this, I want to share with you guys something that really makes a difference to me, right? One thing that really makes a difference to me, and listen, I'm sorry to the guys in the comments, but I got to talk about this, is I cycle sync. And because I'm cycle syncing, I get so much work done. So I'll tell you something. For me, what happens is, and I'm going to go to my phone because I use the My Flow app to cycle sync. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, I am speaking about your menstrual cycle. So I use my cycle to navigate my business because my cycle is not going anywhere and I need to understand what are my weaknesses and strengths during specific times. So like I said, I use the My Flow app, right? And I should have connected my phone to my computer because I could do that with Ecamm. But with your cycle, you have 4 different cycles that you go through, right? Now, I'll tell you something that's funny. Women take 30 days to go through our cycles, the same cycle that a man goes through in 24 hours, okay? So when you're dating a woman and she is 4 different people, don't be surprised, guys. Like, have some empathy, okay? She's not crazy. She's just going through a lot. So, all right. This is what I like to keep in mind. Like I said, I'm going to be looking down because, I'm in my app right now. So there are 4 cycles. Yes. I saw Leda said, interesting. This is interesting stuff, guys. So I want you to take note. So we have 4 cycles. The first cycle is your menstrual cycle, right? So that cycle lasts for, everybody varies, right? But in your menstrual cycle, you want to rest. And so for me, I always tell you guys, during my menstrual cycle, I'm usually inward, which means I'm overthinking things. Whatever I'm telling myself is not true. So I have to tell myself, as soon as this time is over, we're going to be back on track, girl. Listen, don't listen to yourself and the words that you're telling yourself at that time, right? So that's when I really step back from business and I rest. Sometimes I get quiet and you guys DM me or reach out like, Zay, are you okay? Yes, I'm good, but I need to step away for a bit, right? Now, the second cycle that I go into, well, every woman, is follicular. And so for me, follicular in business means, all right, I have new ideas. That's when all the ideas come in. All the things start getting exciting. That's when you speak to your partner and they're like, girl, another business idea. Like, come on, Zay. And I'm like, yes, no, if we did this, this is really gonna work. We need to do this. Like, that's when you have the most ideas. So for me, that is when I sit down and map out all of the ideas. Like, I do a full brainstorm of all the things that I would like to get done for the month, fresh new ideas. I make sure and I write those down. For that, I use Notion, right? Now, the next cycle that we go through is our ovulation. This is a really important cycle, guys. So let me tell you. Ovulation is when I am ready to kick some ass, right? So that means all of the ideas that I came up with and I'm super excited about, I can now execute them in the ovulation time, because ovulation is when you feel like a boss, you wanna, you're closing deals. I do sales calls during ovulation. I do launches during ovulation because it's when I want to show up and shut shit down the most, right? So keep that in mind. Anytime I'm thinking about launches and stuff like that, I do this because I never want to be launching during my menstrual phase or luteal phase, which we'll be talking about next, because those 2 times are inward. It's when we experience a lot of self-talk. It's when we experience a lot of doubt, and you never want to be conducting business during that time. So Taisha, I edit during the luteal phase. Now, I no longer always edit my videos because now I have an editor, but in my time of editing, I would edit during my luteal phase, because that's when you're checking off boxes. That's when you're finishing things, you're getting things done. That's when you pay attention to real details, right? So that is the phase that you would really zone in and hone in on when it comes to editing. So every month, you can now go through these different schedules and figure out what really works for you. I want you to think about that because it works. You won't believe. I'm telling you, it works so well. And then after luteal, you go through your menstrual phase again, right? So you go through luteal, a lot of self-talk. One thing that I love doing during luteal or even menstrual is writing down the thoughts I have to myself, like the insecure thoughts, the thoughts of you can't do this, you ain't ish, all those things, because we all go through them. Let's be honest, we are all human. That's when I write down those thoughts, because usually that's what my clients are saying to themselves. So when I come through and I tell you guys, this is what you're thinking and you need to stop it, I know from personal experience how we can overcome these things, because listen, I've been exactly where you are or you might have been. Right? So that is what cycle syncing is. And cycle syncing as it pertains to video content is so helpful. So I just gave you guys 4 phases where you are able to figure out your ideas and really brainstorm and research and get things together during the follicular phase. The next phase is your ovulation phase, where you can really dig down and really get on camera and dominate everything. The third phase is your luteal phase, which is where you would edit, you would create your blog post, like you would check things off. And the last phase is menstrual, when you step back and rest and you follow that cycle all over again. Let me know in the comments if that was helpful. Even if you're a guy, I would love to know. Like, did you learn did you learn anything new? Did you, I want to know. I want to know what you guys are thinking as it pertains to this. So, Taisha, I hope that is helpful for you. That's how I think about my whole creation process, and it has worked so well. And that's also how I think about launching as well, right? So I always am intentional about when I launch because I want to show up at my best for you guys. So yes, guys, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just told you guys all about my cycle on live. Right? Okay. So the next thing is, and I think we have some trolls in the comments. Shout out to the trolls, but we're going to just ignore you. And so we're going to move into planning again. So specifically planning as it pertains to your content, right? So what I'm gonna do is just head over to, let me see guys, 1 second. I am gonna make sure that, I'm just gonna make sure that there are more people in here. So I'm just going to revisit the question of the day, which is, let me know down in the comments, help me get to know you better. If you had to choose between live video and pre-recorded video, which would you choose? I want to know. I really want to know, right? All right, so Taisha, I hope that was helpful. Let me see. You guys know I like to go back and see if I answered the question correctly. How far in advance should I batch record in order to have adequate time for editing? Yes, and I would always say, like, try to keep ahead of your schedule. So because we're planning for the quarter, and very soon I'm going to be releasing a quarterly planning session for all of us amazing people that are serious about our business and we want to get where we're going faster. This year for 2021, I'm going to be doing a planning session. It's a VIP session. I'm going to be there with you, helping you brainstorm as well. And we are going to be working through all of those things. Like, if you need my opinions on what you should and what you shouldn't record and all of those things that pertains to your business, we're going to have planning sessions for those. So look out for those. They are going to be absolutely amazing. And I'm really excited to bring them to you guys. So our first planning session is going to be in March. So if you're in the Facebook group, I'm definitely going to share in there, but keep your eyes and ears peeled because I really want to, be of service to you guys. And I feel like if we're planning every single quarter for the next quarter in advance, we're going to be able to accomplish so many things together. And I'm super excited about that. Right? All right. So let me tell you guys. Let me just head into some Q&As, see what you guys are doing or what you guys are talking about, and then we can dive into, some more stuff. So Kamala K said, lives are easier, no editing. That is absolutely true. But I always say, suppose you stop showing up live. Does it mean that you are going to stop interacting with your audience and really connecting with them? So they both have their pros and cons, right? We have 2 Kamalas in here. So Kamala McKenzie said, your video is so clear and bright. Is this webcam to go live, or are you using the main camera back on your cell phone? So Kamala, today I am using 2 cameras, right? So I'm using my Canon 70D, and I'm also using my Canon EOS RP. So I'm using 2 cameras, so I have a bit of a side view. That's something that we're testing this week. You guys get to see all of the testing and all of the fun things, but yes. Oh, okay, same. Oh, all right, girl. How are you doing these fingers? You got some quick fingers, girl. All right. Let me see. Okay, I see the 2 similar pictures now. Kalma, thank you for tuning in. I totally get it. You are so awesome for being here on 2 channels. Somebody said, this was super helpful. I'm a Virgo, so intention is everything when it comes to my creativity and productivity level of cray. I am an Aries, honey, and I needs to be organized. So I'll be needing to snatch myself back up every so often, right? Letta said this was helpful, right? And she prefers pre-recorded. Yes. And that's why I asked that question, because people have both such different, preferences. I first preferred pre-recorded, and I do love live, but I also do love pre-recorded because I'm able to get so much done. I can batch 5 videos, 6 videos in one night, and I absolutely love doing that, which is how I'm able to go live, repurpose this content, but still keep giving you fresh new content everywhere, every single week, right? Sydney said, girl, I am ready for the VIP session. Sydney, our first session is in March, and I'm really excited about it. We're working on the back end on all of that right now. But I do have something special coming I have people who signed up for the Fantastic 5. So I'm also opening up 5 specific spots for my mastermind. My mastermind is really curated, and so it's people that we connect every Saturday morning, 3 Saturdays for the month, and it's an absolutely amazing experience because you get my eyeballs throughout the month with you. So I'm also opening up 5 spots for that at the end of December. So oh my gosh, Taisha, you're here. I just saw Taisha say, this is Taisha. I don't know why my name isn't showing up. And I made the Virgo comment. Okay, so Taisha, I hope that what I said was helpful, right? Sydney said that was me. Sydney, I have so many emails for the Fantastic 5, but this week, one of my goals is to reach out to you guys and let you guys know how you can work with me on a much closer basis, right? All Things Quee said, I think I would like lives better because I love the engagement. Pre-recorded, though, gives you the opportunity to ensure that you create in the way that you want. You're so right, Quee. Like, it's so crazy. I feel like pre-recorded allows me to do different things, and live allows me to do different things, which is why in my video strategy, I make sure to implement both. Kamala, yes, we do have a tutorial about going live with your camera and eCam on the YouTube channel, so make sure you check that out. Again, I want to thank you for being here. You guys are so amazing. Let me see. Let me go through 2 more comments. Dominique Wilson said, excited to hear someone else talk about cycle syncing. Yes, girl. I've been using it for health for a few years, but still struggle to use it for my business. Dominique, if you think about what I said, those 4 phases and the things that you should do or focus on in those 4 phases, girl, life changing. All right. Allison said, this would require me to be way more organized than I currently am. Allison, let me tell you something, love. It has changed my life, and it's hard for me to be organized. So, it's definitely something that you can do. Guys, if I can do it, you can do it too, right? All right, so let me see. One thing that I want to make sure that you guys are aware of is I have a free masterclass on the Start, Shoot, Grow website, which is startshootgrow.com. It is the video planning and organization workshop, and it's where I go really deep into the types of video that you need to nurture your audience in order for them to buy from you. Now, that is going to be coming down. We are pulling it down for the new year because we're going to make some changes to it, and it's not going to be free anymore. So I want to encourage you to head over to startshootgrow.com and make sure, honey, that you grab that for free. We're going to be removing it pretty soon. And so in here, you can see, that, Kamala K just enrolled. I just saw that pop up. But guys, you want to head to Start Shoot Grow. So this is Start Shoot Grow. And what you want to do is head to this tab, which is the Start Shoot Grow Video Pro Planning and Organization Workshop. And we are going to be pulling this down soon, and you do not want to miss the opportunity to grab that good info for free, right? So I want to make sure that you guys know about it, and I cover some really in-depth strategy that you should be using in your business. And one of the cool things is that you are also able to use this for Instagram, for Facebook. You're able to move that strategy around. So if you've been thinking about really starting to get consistent, you don't want to miss out on this, right? So I share a lot of good info in there. And you don't want to miss it, because we are opening back up for the Start Street Grow Video Academy pretty soon. I'll be sharing about that pretty soon as well. And so we're doing some revamping on the back end of our products and the way that we are doing things. And I'm so excited to bring you guys through some of that goodness pretty soon. Right? So the next thing is, guys, I just want to kind of go over, and then I'll talk to you guys a bit, but things that you need to pay attention to. So Taisha, it kind of goes back to what I was saying before about, cycle syncing. And so for me, I have all of my content organized, and some of you guys have access to this board, but this is where I go through, first of all, how to use the board, because when you access this course, it actually walks you through that. But it also, like, when I'm in my follicular phase, I make sure that I am brainstorming all of my videos. And I have full examples here, but you guys can see that I have Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, so that I kind of know. The reason why I like using Trello is if I need to change something up, I can head in there and do that easily. And I give you so much examples and such in here as well, right? So you want to make sure that during follicular, this is where you dive in. Now, the cool thing about this is we're also able to add labels. So we know exactly what is edited already, what is uploaded already, what's pending research, what is, based on your video strategy, what is published, what is planned. Listen, there's so much goodness in here, and you can also tag the types of videos, right? So what you want to do is you can brainstorm your videos, and let's say you do one of each. It depends on, and I explain this even more in the class, it really depends on what season you're in. So if you're in a season of launching, or if you're in a season of nurture and attraction, because you're going to be in different seasons, and we'll discuss all of this goodness in even more depth in our live planning sessions. But you want to make sure that you are relating to your audience, that they know what you're here to sell, or that they know what you are or should be known for. They're clear about what you're offering. They're clear about all of those things. You want to make sure of those things. And then after you go through all of this, I always want to make sure that you guys also are planning things out. So this is my messy calendar. This is my team calendar, but this is exactly what we use to create as well. So I'll get in here. I'm sure you guys saw this video recently about GIFs in Canva if you pay attention to the YouTube channel. So this is actually how I make sure that I'm creating content that people want to see. So I walk you through my full process of how I come up with my videos as well, right? So the organization is what really makes a difference. And so after I figure out exactly what type of content I want to create, the other thing is that I know that I can relate those to my content pillars and what I really want to be known for. And so because I'm giving that value, when it's time to sell, it's a no-brainer and it's not a problem at all, right? So that's where organization and being organized and also working within the bigger picture of your business makes such a difference. And then we want to make sure that we know, how are you distributing this content? And this is another board that I give you guys access to. We want to make sure that you are doing planned live sessions. You guys are always here for my live sessions, and I'm so thankful for you. You want to make sure that you're sending email newsletters and that you are repurposing that content as it pertains to other social media platforms that you are using. My whole goal for all of this, guys, is letting you know one band, one sound, right? You don't have to be, running to figure out all the things. You can create one piece of content, and we released a slider based on that. Shout out to my assistant, Gina. She created such amazing content for you guys based on what I teach, but it's laid out for you. You can actually figure out, okay, so this kind of content would do well on Instagram if I do this in a graphic, but it's all based on what we're doing on video, right? This way you have so much content to go through and so much content to distribute to your listening audience. right? So I hope that really kind of helps for you guys to get an idea of how to cast your net. Make sure that you're aware of your goals. Think about what you want to be known for, what you want to sell, what you want to dominate. Know what you want to be known for. Have a clear idea of that. What do you want to be number one for in your industry or in your space, right? Like, there's no questions asked. When you think about video, who's coming to mind? Hey girl, hey, right? So you have to think about things like that. Like, and listen, growth is a thing. It takes time. So be patient with yourself, but have those goals so that you can cast your net out. Know how it works in accordance to your personal lifestyle and your personal life, which is why I had to touch on cycle syncing, and which is why I also touched on mental health, because that's a huge thing for me. If something, it's the health for me, right? If something is, like, if it doesn't sit right with me, I'm not gonna do it, right? So that's why I'm so intentional about the way I create and what I put out there. And I want you guys to do the same, because you're not always gonna be up for showing up live. And when you're not showing up live and things are dead, you don't want your audience to think, well, you ditched them, or that, well, where did she go? But, in essence, I'm going back to Q&A because I want to see what you guys are saying. You got to think about these things, right? Kamala K said, agreed on what you want to be known for. I'm a model and modeling coach, and that's my niche. So I focus on that content. Yes, and that is something that is so important. And something, it's so funny because I even wanted to shout out Enrica today. I don't know if she's here, right? But I wanted to shout her out because one thing that we were actually speaking before this live, and so this is Enrica. I definitely advise you guys to head over to her Instagram and follow her. She has Facebook as well, but I know this is probably where she teaches and where she hosts her business. And so I'm shouting her out. I'm definitely going to start shouting out someone as it pertains to every week. But listen, so she shares Instagram marketing tips. I know that she has a social media business, but I'll tell you why I decided to share a bit about Enrica today, because I am moving into or back into lifestyle, or sharing about my lifestyle as well. And so I recently launched a new channel, right? So I have my business channel, but I realized that I have so much to share on the back end of my business or what I do that really doesn't fit into what I share on the main channels. And so I didn't do it for a long while because I thought it would be completely boring. And so she was sharing with me today that she enjoys my vlogs so much because it's really the back end of my business. It's pure Zaylee, just me, right? And so I'm sharing a lot about the back end of running a business, things that I'm doing, things that I'm going through on the back end of it all. And she was sharing with me how it's not I think it's so boring because I'm like, my life is boring. But she was saying to her as a viewer, it's so exciting and interesting, right? And so it's like I had to separate that from what I know I'm shooting for, but I know I wanted to do it still, right? So, that's why I say think about what you want to be known for. So that is a really cool side project. It's the whole test. You guys know I love testing things, and that's what business is about. Things will never be perfect. So release yourself from expecting things to be perfect and just flow. So that is something that definitely will grow over time. But I know what my goals are for 2021, and I shared them at the beginning of this live stream. I know what I want to be known for. Hello, right? So keep in mind, yes, what you want to be known for. It's really important for you to make that a goal so that, as the year progresses, you can step back and say, well, am I still doing this thing? Or am I still in alignment with this thing? Right? All right. So let me see. Taisha said, I've been using Trello almost daily since purchasing some courses from SSG. Thank you, Taisha. We appreciate you so much. So helpful for the organizational or organizationally challenged. Yes, girl, we are here for it. I'm so happy that you find it helpful. And, it's just so good to be organized in that way. And I really laid it out in the way that, my brain works. So it's easy for you guys to start implementing, right? And Chandra said, release perfection. Yes, girl. Yes, it's crippling and we don't want that. Janelle, hello. Janelle and I went to school together years ago, and she said, perfectionism, that's a tough one to let go of. It really is. But I can transparently tell you guys that for years, perfectionism kept me back in so many ways. And I always bring it back to, being a kid and thinking that I had to always be on and I always have to do. Listen, no. I think we are brought up that way, right? We're brought up in a way where, you want to be your best all the time and you're not going to show up unless you are your best. And girl, we could turn this into a whole show about that, but we ain't going to do that tonight, right? So I realized I had to release perfectionism in so many ways, and I'm still working on it. The other day I released an audio, right? Where I was speaking with, oh my gosh, how did I forget her name? The host of the Adobe Live, the person that hosted me. She was so gracious. And so we were speaking about, the ums and the uhs and things like that. And I released an audio saying, hey, it happens, right? It happens. And one thing that I'm not going to do is, because perfectionism is really you thinking about how you appear to others. And I learned that the people that will complain, they're not going to buy anything from you. They're not going to support you. They're just there to nitpick, and I'm not there to please them. Right? So we got to think about things like that. Kamala K said, just bought the course last night, going through it tonight, but pause to catch your live. Sign up, peeps. Good content. Thank you so much, Kamala. I appreciate you so much. Who said this? Is this Taisha? I think it's Taisha. Zelly, my niche isn't interested in a typical course per se. They want the action. They engage better via social media and text. I'm struggling with how to get paid for that model. Any ideas? Girl, that's what they told you. They are. Who is this? Like, wait, who is this? They are interested in a typical course. You just have to understand how to lay that course out. I think that's probably what you're struggling with. Your people are. It's either that or you have not been letting them know that you have something for sale, because you also have to let your audience know, yes, I can show up in this way for free, but there are things behind the barrier. So I want to know who this is. Who is that specifically? Oh, Khadidra. Khadidra, girl, I need some more context, because that's a lot of things could be wrong there, right? Kui said, I do like what you said about being able to pre-record as many as you want. Great tips. Thank you so much, Kui, for being here. And yes, like for me, sometimes like if I have, even tonight, okay, let's talk about it. So I have a face tonight, and so much is going to get done tonight. Like sometimes I record, and the videos that you guys see have been recorded from so long ago. You get what I'm saying? So, all right, as woman, because I tell my boyfriend all the time, like, you don't have to get ready to record. He doesn't. He just shows up. For me, I have to get ready. So, and I don't have to, because if it's not your thing, I also advise you to not do it, which is fine. You don't have to get dressed up. But for me, I know that this is going to be viewed on YouTube by a specific audience. So I want to show up, right? So I know if I have my face done, I'm going to get a few videos out of this face. Now, what I might do, and if you guys have seen the back end tour of my studio, I usually keep a few shirts that I can switch into so that you think it's different, girl, but right? So that is definitely what I do, right? Let me see. Okay, I'm just gonna go through and see if you guys have any more questions at all. If you have any questions, we can answer live, right? And if not, guys, we're gonna get off. You know, it's 7:53. We've been on here for a while. Okay, Khadija said my niche is pregnancy, birth, motherhood. I'm a birth, postpartum, early childhood professional. Yes, they will pay you for it. So, Khadija, I can't give you a full answer because I would have to know a lot more. But yes, people would pay for that. People will pay lots of money for that. And so you have to really figure out, like, what am I giving for free? And also, this is the other thing. Ask your people what they want, right? So you said they don't consume or engage the same way. I'm having trouble thinking about that, because one thing that I'm thinking is that if someone, example, I'm not a mom, but as soon as that process starts happening for me, I'm going to Google. And so if you are creating based on SEO, they're finding you. But obviously, you know, you can't give all the answers on the internet. Or I'll tell you something. The difference is also if you have, everybody's pregnancy is different. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah. If they need specific information from you, they're going to have to pay you, right? So definitely, yeah. Yeah, you can get paid from your audience. I definitely would have to sit with you and know more, but yes, exactly. Kamala said so many women need help on childbirth tips, how to cope. You better create a course, Khadija. Yes, and me not being a mom just yet, I know when I am, I'm going to need to know some things, girl. So yes, Chandra said, thank you for adding such goodness and value on a Friday night. Thank you, Chandra, for being here and spending your Friday night with us, right? Yeah, Khadija, I got to know more. Sydney said, can you talk about how to get our audience to respond when you ask them what they want to hear about, especially, my audience doesn't usually respond to that question, but they show up in the lives. Sydney, have you been polling them? Polls are easier because sometimes people don't like to answer long questions. If you do follow me on Instagram, you see that I post polls sometimes, and I'll post the polls in accordance to the answer that I want. People find it much easier to hit yes or no. So what you've got to do is give your audience options. Example, should I upload a video on, Canva today or Thinkific? Answer me in the comments. Seriously, answer me in the comments. Should I upload a Canva video or a Thinkific video, right? Let me know down in the comments, what platform you would like to see me feature next. It's easier for them to pick a platform and tell you the answer. Let me know if that's helpful, because that's something that, you can do. Yep, I'm trying to stop the one-off. I make money one-to-one, but I want to go bigger. Yes, Khadija, you definitely can create a course. What you would need to do is poll your audience. And if you find a lot of similar answers, then you guys, remember, a course is simply solving one problem, right? So a lot of times when we're thinking in that way, we're thinking about too many things, right? At the same time, Khadija. So you got to think, what part of the journey do I coach people on the most? The good thing I'll tell you, Khadija, is that you are actually providing services. So if you lay out your full start to finish service, you're able to find things in there that would be courses. Two, the other thing is your audience, right? Not because you have this audience right now who is paying you to work one-to-one does not mean it doesn't have an extension of that audience on some social media platform, right? So when we think about pregnancy, you got to think, well, what's the first thing, what's the first thing that pregnant women do? Are they going to Facebook? Are they talking to their friends? Are they going to YouTube, to Google? Are they going to Google? You get what I'm saying? So you got to think about that. And remember, your course is not for everybody. right? It's not going to be for everybody, and that's fine. So you think that some of them love free, but if you keep on giving value, you're definitely going to find people that want to tap into your brain specifically, because you're not covering exactly, what they need in your free content, right? Sydney said that was really helpful, and she said thinkific. Yes. Oh my gosh, that's a great question. I don't get the best engagement. Do polls. Give people options, Quee. Give them options and they'll pick an option. It's easier to do that. I do that to you guys in the Facebook group. I'll be like, hey guys, what do you want to know more about next? Do you want to know more about this or that? And you guys pick. And these platforms push polls. Instagram pushes your poll, they show it to more people. Facebook pushes your poll, they show it to more people. So don't be afraid to poll, because the platform knows that people answer to polls much easier, right? Let me see. I'm just stepping into visibility on social. Yes. If this is still Khadijah, yes. So not because your audience is currently, you got to think, start learning about how people on social deal with pregnancy, or not deal with, research pregnancy, and start positioning yourself as the answer. So yes, as soon as you start being visible, you're able to amass an audience, and pregnancy is the best thing ever, if I'm understanding what you do correctly. But yes, and the content that you create is going to be so relevant, because people are constantly going through the different cycles, and the first trimester, second trimester, I don't know a lot, guys, because I'm not a mom yet. But yes, people will constantly be looking for those things, because that's one of the things that happens every day. Every day someone finds out, hey, I'm pregnant, right? So think about it in that way. Taisha said, what's tea with the Become an Amplified 2021 speaker pitch contest with Thinkific? Girl, I don't know. That's a good question. I am co-creator of Thinking Color. However, I will be teaching at Amplify. So, Taisha, I don't know, but we did a speaker pitch for Thinking Color. And so it was so amazing that I guess they're using that concept for Amplify as well. And if you want to speak and, get exposed to a larger audience, honey, you shouldn't be asking what's tea. You should be making the tea so that you can spill it onto the audience, right? So you better apply, Taisha, definitely, right? Guys, can you believe Thinking Color is only a few months away already? That is absolutely insane. Okay, I guess Kamala was giving some info to Khadijah. But yeah, there are definitely courses on that topic. And Khadijah, I think that you should first, before you create any course at all, start researching that audience. See what they're looking for, see what they're tapping into, and you will definitely get some great ideas for what your course should be on. A lot of times we try to recreate the wheel. No, don't do that. So do some research, Khadijah, for sure. Research your audience and research what's out there as well on the market. Sydney said, is there going to be a speaker pitch for Thinking Color 2021? I would hope so. Yeah, I think more than likely we will, right? So I hope you guys are getting ready, because we had people last year who were just looking on and, were definitely speakers in the lineup. So people saw it and decided, I want to be a part of this, and applied, and it worked well. So start really getting your audience together, start getting your pitch together. Like I said, for 2021, what do you want to dominate as? What do you want to be known for? What industry do you want to completely take over? What do you want people to speak your name about when it comes to that thing? Start thinking in that way. It's so helpful. All right, guys. So it's 8:03, which means we are so over, right? But definitely head to Amplify, and let them know Zaylee sent you. But please, oh yeah, Taisha, you're going to be scared. You're always going to be scared. and you can do it, darling. So definitely apply, 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 apply. I say put yourself out there. All right, guys, I love you guys so freaking much for hanging out with me on this Friday evening. I hope this was helpful for you in some way. And if you haven't shared yet, share, guys. Like, the more that we can share, the more amazing people we can have on a Friday night with us, and the more we're able to vibe out and really connect with each other on a deeper level. To the Fantastic Five who signed up for being a part of my mastermind, I'm coming. I'm reaching out to you pretty soon. And yeah, guys, I love you, and I will see you guys. We're not connecting next Friday. We'll be back by the 7th. I think that date is. Yeah, 7th of January. We will be live and direct, but you know, we're in the Facebook group lit as ever. So if you're not in the Facebook group, I really encourage you to head over to ZaileyBarclay.com. At the top of the website, you're going to find a bar where you're able to join the Facebook group, and I'm in there like swimwear. All right, guys, I love you, and I will talk to you soon. P.S. If you're not following my vlog channel, I'm uploading consistently there. If you're on the main channel, you can find Learning and Living with Zaylee there somewhere. But yeah, let's do this thing called life together, guys. I love you, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Happy